No longer a prince, King Charles's brother Andrew has lost just about everything. His house, his titles, his job as a working royal, thanks to his associations with Jeffrey Epstein. One interview was the start of his tumultuous downfall. Andrew didn't exactly have a sterling reputation even before his career-ending Newsnight interview in 2019. On top of ties to gun smugglers and warlords, along with some extremely sketchy financial dealings, the former prince's friendship with Jeffrey Epstein had been public knowledge for years. That includes the time after Epstein was accused of criminal acts. In May 2006, the Palm Beach police issued a warrant for Epstein's arrest. Not long after, he attended the 18th birthday party of Andrew's daughter, Beatrice. Epstein served 13 months in prison starting in June 2008, then a year of probation. In December 2010, after Epstein's release, News of the World photographed Andrew in New York City with Epstein during an unofficial 4-day trip. Andrew stayed at Epstein's house. He has admitted it.
Or when I was staying in his houses in the United States, there was no indication, absolutely no indication.
The following March, the Daily Mail revealed that Andrew's wife at the time, Sarah Ferguson, had once received £15,000 from Epstein to help pay off her £5 million in personal debts. In July 2011, Andrew was forced to step down as the UK's Special Representative for International Trade and Investment. In December 2014, Andrew was named in court filings against Epstein. The filings included the accusation from Virginia Giuffre that Epstein paid her $15,000 for a rendezvous with Andrew. In an extraordinary move, Buckingham Palace commented twice on the matter, denying any relationship. Unfortunately for them, a photograph of Andrew with his arm around Giuffre's waist was published in June 2015. Things seemed to cool off a bit for Andrew after 2015. He was even appointed Colonel of the Grenadier Guards in 2017. But Andrew perhaps got a little too comfortable. A PR firm emailed BBC Newsnight booker Sam McAllister offering an interview with Andrew about his charity work. She declined that pitch, but started a conversation about a bigger interview. Palace officials stipulated that the topic of Epstein was off the table, so McAllister didn't agree to the piece. Things changed drastically, though, when Epstein was found dead in his prison cell in August 2019. Talk about Epstein and Andrew's association with him once again heated up. In that environment, Andrew decided to do the Newsnight interview. In his mind, it was a chance to clear his name. McAllister told Town & Country magazine, Prince Andrew is in a really invidious position because, effectively, what he's been told all his life is that he's amazing, he's brilliant. So he has an extraordinary capacity for misunderstanding his own capabilities. I call it royal delusion, but it's something you see in major companies with CEOs, with bosses. Andrew attempted to explain his own thought process during the interview. It did not help him.
It's almost a mental health issue to some extent for me, in the sense that it's been nagging at my mind for a great many years.
On November 16, 2019, Newsnight host Emily Maitlis grilled the then prince about his ties to Epstein for nearly 50 minutes. He had some really strange answers for her. First, Andrew provided a ridiculous explanation for his visit with Epstein in December 2010, stating that he went to see Epstein in person to end their friendship.
I felt that doing it over the telephone was the chicken's way of doing it. I had to go and see him and talk to him.
In his twisted logic, Andrew argued that seeing Epstein face-to-face to tell him the relationship was over was his way of showing leadership. When Maitlis asked why Andrew then chose to stay at Epstein's house for 4 full days if cutting off ties was his plan, the then prince admitted,
"It was a convenient place to stay."
Andrew's logic then got all tied up in even more knots. He said that in hindsight, staying in the house was the wrong choice, but at the time, he thought it was honorable and right. He tried and failed to paint himself in a rosy light, saying,
"My judgment was probably colored by my tendency to be too honorable."
The Newsnight interview proved to be a treasure trove for fact-checkers. There were so many outrageous claims, like the one where Andrew said,
I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time.
He was attempting to rebut Giuffre's accusations that he was a sweaty mess after they danced together. Specifically, Andrew asserted that he had suffered an overdose of adrenaline while fighting in the war in the Falkland Islands that somehow prevented him from sweating. Medical experts questioned the claim, and it became a major punchline.
I'll bet you money he's sweating now.
2 years later, during Giuffre's lawsuit against Andrew, she sought proof from the prince's doctors of his condition. Andrew's team rejected the request, calling it harassment. Andrew's claim that he ceased communication with Epstein after December 2010 also fell apart. The Sun unearthed a 2011 email in which Andrew urged Epstein to stay in touch and wrote, "I'm just as concerned for you. Don't worry about me. It would seem we are in this together and we'll have to rise above it. We'll play some more soon." The fallout from Andrew's Newsnight interview came quickly. One part that especially made headlines was,
"Do you regret the whole friendship with Epstein?"
Still not.
Andrew elaborated that he met people and got opportunities to learn from Epstein that proved useful. The UK media had a field day. A Sunday Mail headline proclaimed not one single word of remorse. Charlie Proctor, the editor of the Royal Central website, wrote on X, "I expected a train wreck. That was a plane crashing into an oil tanker, causing a tsunami, triggering a nuclear explosion. Level bad." Andrew's approval ratings dropped like a rock. In a YouGov poll taken right after the interview, only 6% of respondents believed what he said about his affiliations with Epstein, with 51% outright not believing him. In the same poll, 47% of people believed his interview had damaged the monarchy. Various companies responded as well, with BT, Barclays, Cisco, and others swiftly backing out of organizations Andrew was a part of. On November 20th, just 4 days after the interview, Andrew announced he was stepping back from his royal duties. Andrew's Newsnight interview eventually led to legal consequences. In the Channel 4 documentary Andrew, the Problem Prince, one of Virginia Giuffre's lawyers said,
"I was thrilled with that interview. He said so many provably false things. So it was just a roadmap to tear him apart."
In 2021, Giuffre launched an abuse lawsuit against Andrew. Andrew's legal team originally denied being served papers, but it soon came out that the service of proceedings had occurred on September 21st. It didn't take long for Andrew to ultimately settle outside of court, paying £12 million to Giuffre as a result. Queen Elizabeth II reportedly footed the bill for his settlement. This process likely contributed to the Queen's decision to strip Andrew of his military roles and use of his royal patronages, further insulting whatever dignity he had left. Andrew lost his honorary military roles and could no longer use his Royal Highness title. It's certainly possible that an open letter to the Queen that was signed by more than 150 high-level military veterans spurred her to take action. It read in part, "Were this any other senior military officer, it is inconceivable that he would still be in post." Andrew has been the subject of multiple documentaries, but it's a testament to the importance of the Newsnight interview that 2 dramatizations, A Very Royal Scandal and Scoop, were made about just the interview itself.
With respect, you know how people see you.
Spell it out.
Randy, Andy.
Both Amazon's 3-part miniseries and Netflix's film received multiple award nominations, and neither depicted Andrew in a flattering light. Scoop's Rufus Sewell, in particular, portrayed the prince as a creepy man-child with a weird attachment to his stuffed animals. Both productions released in 2024 once again renewed interest in Andrew's relationship with Epstein, making it clearer than ever before that he was likely never returning to the monarchy. In October 2025, journalist James O'Brien asked his audience, "What do you do with a problem like Andrew Windsor?" By that point, it had been years that the British public had been feeling both embarrassed by and angry toward Andrew and his complete inability to stay out of the spotlight. O'Brien said, "Everybody knows what he should be doing, living the rest of his life in a mixture of obscurity and altruism."
His ego won't allow that. So he keeps turning up. He's turning up at their parties. As if he's done nothing wrong, as if he's normal.
Indeed, faced with the absence of any criminal trial or action from Buckingham Palace or Parliament, Andrew's presence at different functions began to infuriate the general public. He just wouldn't go away, from joining the royal family for Easter 2025 to his attendance at the Duchess of Kent's funeral in September. An August 2025 YouGov poll showed that Britons were fed up with Andrew. Only 5% of respondents had a favorable opinion of him, while 87% had an outright negative view. More than 2/3 of the British public believed he should be stripped of his titles as well. Little did they know what was coming. In July 2025, Epstein's name was back in the news. That month, the United States FBI and DOJ claimed there were no Epstein files, walking back theories they propagated during the 2024 election and enraging the public in the process. But documents trickled out, including files that revealed Andrew had paid Epstein for massages. He was also included in Epstein's flight logs, having flown to his estate in West Palm Beach, Florida in May 2000. At the time, Andrew covered this trip up by stating he was attending a reception for the National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. Then, in August, Andrew Lowney released his autobiography entitled The Rise and Fall of the House of York. Along with reported allegations about Andrew's shady finances and relationships, Lowney's book makes the claim that Epstein played Andrew. The prince was a useful idiot who gave him respectability, access to political leaders, and business opportunities. Lowney also alleges that Epstein sold Andrew's secrets to Israel's Mossad, Saudi Arabian authorities, and Libyan intelligence services. Things completely fell apart for Andrew in September and October. The emails, which showed Andrew had communicated with Epstein after 2010, disproved his claims in the Newsnight interview that he'd severed ties and led to increased calls for the removal of his titles. Giuffre tragically died in April 2025 by alleged suicide, but her memoir, Nobody's Girl, a memoir of surviving abuse and fighting for justice, was posthumously released in October 2025. In it, Giuffre recounted her supposed dalliances with Andrew, which included intimate details and accusations of sexual encounters with multiple underage girls. Giuffre wrote, "He believed having sex with me was his birthright." Amidst the controversy, Andrew released a statement in which he said that he would no longer be using his royal title as the Duke of Windsor, one of the last nails in the coffin of his reputation. He did, however, continue to, quote, vigorously deny the accusations against him. As more information continued to be released, however, calls from the British public for an official act to strip Andrew of his titles increased. On October 19th, it came out that in 2011, Andrew had asked his personal police protection to seek intimate information about Giuffre, even acquiring her social security number to dig up dirt on her. While the Metropolitan Police stated they were actively investigating the reports, The Guardian's Stephen Bates provided an obituary-like epigraph for Andrew. He was an idiot, and worse, a powerful man who brought pain to others, a dark stain tarnishing the family escutcheon and rocking the institution itself.
You think of the legacy the Queen's left, and then he's just completely trashed it.
In light of everything, Emily Maitlis wrote for The Times, "Perhaps the best legacy of this moment, with one fallen duke and the eyes of the world upon us, is to keep asking questions to find out what really went on." On October 21st, after it was revealed that Andrew hadn't paid rent for his 30-room mansion for 2 decades, members of Parliament took the extraordinary step of lodging a motion to officially strip him of his dukedom. On October 30th, Buckingham Palace announced that Andrew would further be stripped of his prince title and that he would be forced to move out of Royal Lodge. The palace's statement read in part, "Prince Andrew will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten, Windsor. Formal notice has now been served to surrender the lease and he will move to alternative private accommodation."